Live in a
Great.
second. That's it. We're live on LinkedIn on our first Translators On Air.
Perfect. So we're live. I start. So good morning or good afternoon, everyone. We're excited to open the stage today for Translators On Air, a series of webinars hosted by BureauWorks featuring Javi and Marta. This initiative is centered around the beating heart of our industry in this era of AI, the translators. Throughout this series of events, translators discuss their roles while wearing any hat they may have, be it professors, translation managers, students, or linguists. They delve into the transformative era of AI, offering insights into the translator's evolving role. We provide this platform for you to understand, learn, interact, build awareness and strategy, encouraging your involvement and critical thinking. Every week, we'll gather here for a new episode on this air, welcoming a special guest to explore the evolving role of translators in the AI era. So allow me to introduce myself. I'm Viveta Jean with 20 years of experience in this industry, providing a 360-degree view. I serve as an AI language solution specialist, an MTP expert and trainer, and PhD candidate in translation at the Onion University under the guidance of my esteemed professor, Dr. Vladimir Sosony. Additionally, I hold the position of Head of Partnerships at BureauWorks, a translation technology company synonymous with innovation in the translation tech field. This accolade is not self-proclaimed, but has been recognized through the Process Innovation Challenge Award at Lockworld 50. And if you were to ask me about our innovation, I wouldn't focus solely on technology. I'd emphasize the community and its pivotal role in innovation. So having said that, the most suitable person to discuss community and introduce our special guest for today, along with our chosen topic, is our head of community champion, and the spirit of BureauWorks, Javi. And Javi, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. What an introduction, Viveta. Thank you. Hi. How is everybody doing? Welcome everybody to this first edition of Translators on Air. We've been this. I mean, I for those of you who know me, you know probably that I rejoined BureauWorks just a month ago. We traveled to the States. We attended Lockworld. We had a lot of time to talk in person with a lot of people, also online. And one thing that shocked me after taking 5 months off and not being, I mean, I wasn't really connected to the industry, was to hear comments and ideas and thoughts from a lot of people, especially from translators in our industry, being scared of what's coming up, of the new wave of AI taking the jobs, etc. So I commented this internally when we were meeting in the States, and Viveta and the team had the idea of creating an event like this to break that myth. That's not true. That we think that is not true. And we, as an industry technology provider with a component of AI, which Viveta will showcase later, we think that it's our mission it's a role to play to take away that fear from everybody. Right? That's our statement. So as Viveta said, we are going to do this session every week once, and we're going to be inviting friends who are innovating in this industry. And today we're bringing you the one and only Marta. Marta
Hi.
From Creative Words. Hi. I mean, I was going to introduce you, but it's better that you introduce yourself and you tell our audience who you are, where you come from, where you are, and what you do to innovate and to make sure that translators are included and are a key piece in this new wave of AI, new era of AI. Let's call it like this.
That's an honor. So first thing first, hello everybody, and thank you for this great opportunity. It's such an honor to be part of this first episode. So yes, I am Marta Castello, and I am Innovation Manager in Creative Words, Italian language service provider. As Innovation Manager, I am part of the Innovation Lab within the company, which is a sort of research department where we try to integrate the potential of AI ethically and responsibly into language services. I actually do not have a background in AI nor a tech background. I am a graduate in translation and interpreting, but I got the luck of getting to know and getting into the field of artificial intelligence related to languages few years ago. And now I'm here in Italy trying to get the best out of it. I'm a super supporter of the integration of technology and humanities, so that fits quite good.
I love it. That's good. Thanks for introducing yourself, Marta. Thanks for being here as well. I know Diego in your company. He's a very good friend. He's always in every conference. I want to say hi to him because he's probably watching us today. And Marta, let's get to it because my first question is, remember what I just said about this, everybody or a lot of translators being scared of what's coming in the future and of the integration of AI in the way we work. What is your thought on this? Is there really fear for this? What are you seeing?
I have to be honest, there is. From what I can see, I see two fractions. There are those who are super duper hyper scared of artificial intelligence cutting out jobs and replacing human beings in like 360 degrees. And on the other side, there are those who are super hyped on the potentials of artificial intelligence within the field. So, but still, I'm part of the second group, but we're still a very, very tiny minority from what I can see, but not because of, let's say, unknowledge. Is just because sometimes fear can take over, and people who there are people out there who have been doing this job for decades. And of course, change represents a threat, let's say. We just have to be able to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've seen it, it's there. Yeah, okay. So thanks for being here to help fight that. I know, Beta.
I have now the center, let's say, question, the main question of the event. So how do you see, Marta, the role of the translator? I would say, not like to have the hat here of the post editor, the role of the translator in the AI era. How do you see it evolving? How do you see things?
Like me personally, I am a super supporter of keeping humans in the loop. And this means that I do not actually see AI and change as a threat itself. We have to start from the assumption that technology evolves and changes happen. We just have to we have to accept this, and we have to embrace the change and go hand in hand with what's happening. Like we cannot stop it, So when I'm asked about how I see the profession at the moment and how I see it in the future, I have no doubt in saying that I do not see AI as a threat for termination. Like change happens, as we were saying, it happens in the tools that we use, and it happens also in the way we carry out our professions. So it's not the profession that is ending, it's just that it is changing, it is evolving around the change, it is adapting to the change itself. So of course, the role of the translator is changing, but it has been changing for years now. Like just think about when we started using machine translation, that represented another big deal in the industry, and that like everybody was thinking that this is going to be the end. And here again, but translators did not extinguish before, and I do not think that we're going to extinguish afterwards either. It's just like being able to adapt to change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and have you seen, have you experienced the concerns on translator side? And if so, what do you think is the reason for that?
I do. I honestly, well, first thing first, let's say that I do not have to deal with translators on a daily basis. Let's say that my clients within the company is the rest of the team in Creative Arts. So I am into the localization and translation field, but I do not directly interact with people working as translators. What I do is I see linguists, in-house linguists within Creative Arts. I see other acquaintances outside that I've known since university or that I have come to know during my professional path. And I talk to clients and I talk to companies. So that's the experience I can bring now. And I do see concerns for sure. As we were saying, I think that the whole talk and discussion will end up talking about generative AI, especially because that's the main, that's the AI that we are fearing, let's say. So and the main concern, I think, it's given by the fact that we were giving, all of us, not only translators, not only linguists, like the whole world, users globally, which I would say it's about everybody, have been given a super powerful and at the same time dangerous tool from one day to another. And they were not given instructions of use. So everybody got access to something that had been kept for, it's not that AI didn't exist before Gen AI early on this year, it existed. It was just a niche subject. So the main concern is about, I think, the word in its real meaning, an education, people do not actually know what's behind such technology, and people do not actually know how to use it, the potentials, because there's many opportunities, but mostly they do not know the risks, but they only see the risks. It's kind of weird, from what I think, it's kind of from what I see. It's just, I think that there's an urge of educating professionals, but not only, to use AI technology firstly, because otherwise everything is going to go down to risks and threats and bad things.
Yeah, it's like a huge Wikipedia, let's say, and the power of it is not filtered, or like a Google. We don't have filtered the power of it, and we're not educated on how to use it, correct?
Exactly. With the difference that here, they're generating things, it's not information that is given, it's given back, it's created from scratch, apparently, which is not, but that what comes to the eyes of the user.
Yeah, for me, in a linear way, the fear is always about the unknown. One unknown thing comes after the other. 3 years before, we were talking about machine translation, and there was a huge fear about being replaced by machine translation. Now it is AI, tomorrow it's going to be something else. But Marta, we were talking and we were having a chat, and you told me that there is also a positive attitude of people, a minority possibly, towards Gen AI. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that. That's a part that I'm really interested in. Who are the minority? Who have been telling you, hey, this is amazing? Because I want the audience to also feel identified, because I'm sure people that are listening are saying, hey, I'm sure it's not all negative. I like this. So tell us your experience, please.
Yeah. Minority is just because what I see is the minority. Then I really do hope that there are a lot of people out there with this mindset, but linguists and professionals who actually understand, or at least are more open to understanding what's behind AI, who are interested in, not that the other part and the majority is not interested, is just a different mindset, which I believe that mostly comes also from a professional, not professional, but personal level, there are certain people who are more open to change, other people who are more less open, more closer to change. So I think that brings on a very, very specific, very, very important aspect. But the value, people, like there are people who value technology and who value the integration of technology with their competencies. So, and I believe that there are way more people who do this. It's just that maybe someone is still a little bit scared of saying it out loud, you know. I have the impression that sometimes it is kind of like admitting something wrong when we say, well, you know, like we could cooperate with machines. Like there's nothing wrong. That's how the world is developing itself. So I really do think that there are more people than expected who actually have this mindset.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Wow. Interesting, right, Viveta?
excuse me?
No, interesting to hear this, because all we've been hearing lately is fear and fear and fear. So it's good to hear that there's people that already have a positive attitude.
It's really good to hear. But I will go with a question now. And the question is it that people are really positive and embrace technology in this case, or is it because they ignore the risks of it?
I don't think people ignore the risks. As I was saying before, also, I think that actually risks are what are the clearest part of the game. So I think that it would be kind of not impossible, but very hard to ignore. I think that people actually do value AI. I am one of those, and in our company, like we are all embracing AI. We are, of course, trying to, as I was saying also at the beginning, we are trying to regulate the way in which we use AI and in which we integrate AI within our workflows. We are setting human in the loop approach as our pillar. We have developed new processes and new workflows that keep humans at the center of the game. So, for instance, I am a super duper fan of this approach. I see humans at the very beginning, in the middle, and in the end. I'm obsessed with it. I have been teased about it for my obsession, but that brought us to also outline and draft a sort of certification, a sort of seal. We called it the human approved, to help people actually understand the opportunities of AI and understand how important it is that professionals embrace AI to empower language.
Good.
Right.
That's very interesting. Super interesting. Yeah. I think Viveta has a couple of questions around that after, right? But I have a question that I think it might hurt a little, but I have to ask it. If not, I will be hurt myself.
Go for it.
And it's about. I think when I was thinking which questions to ask you today, Marta, I thought of asking you from your perspective, from what you're seeing. I know you don't work on everyday basis with translators, but do you think translators miss skills or attitude towards change? What do you think? Are they prepared? Are they not? I know it can hurt a little, but we need to see the people's opinion on this.
So it is either they miss skills or
attitude towards the change. Change.
I think neither. Well, neither and both.
That's the political.
Well, first thing first, I'm gonna put the disclaimer on before judging. No, jokes apart. I think jokes apart, I think neither and both. Part of I really do think that there is a big lack of education towards technology and towards technological tools that can be used within the linguistic field. And for instance, this is one of the first points that we brought out when we published our human approved certification. Like, people must undergo training. People must understand what they are, what they're using, like what they are cooperating with. People must know the outputs of technology, and they must be able to acknowledge and be critical towards them. but at the same time, they must praise when technology does a good job. So I think there is for sure a lack of education, not because of anybody's fault. It's just that it's something super new, like that. How do we find education? Like we are, for instance, we are building our own, and we are building it for our translators and our professionals, but there's actually nothing out there. For instance, as mentioned, I am graduate in translation and interpreting. I don't know how it works in many other universities, but like also at university, I had very, very, very little chance of testing and using CAT tools, for instance. Well, and you think about it, and I graduated about 5 years ago, and 5 years ago, it's not too, it's not long ago. So I would have expected, then you go out in the real world and you don't know what to do. And the same thing is happening now with the disclaimer on their side that's super fresh. So things need time to get created and get published. And get into the routine. But I really do hope that that's a gap that will be filled sooner than later, because this will for sure open eyes towards the opportunities that technology sets forward. So I don't know. I think I got kind of like lost into the answer to your question.
No, it's actually regarding the skills gap. We need to understand that we are not the only ones, because in the digital transformation era, this gap exists in all professions, and we all try for the same thing. So it's something generalized, because AI is not only in translation, it is everywhere. And education, academia, everyone tries to cope with it. Things happen really fast. It's not like it happens with vaccines and the pharmaceutical industry, where first you get the approvals, first you learn how to do things, and then they're launched. Here, technology goes really fast, and everything else then follows. So this excuses somehow the gap of skills, and we need to recognize that there is a gap, because sometimes we don't even recognize that, and take the actions to go fast and do things about it. So there are two questions, Javi, in the audience, if we would like to touch them.
Yeah, we will leave them for the end, I guess. I guess it's better to leave them for the end. So now we follow the flow, because also we want to, there's a part in this community event that we're going to be showing Bureau Works, what we do, right? So you're going to be demoing the platform for a bit now. But before we get into that, there's a couple of more questions that we need to sort out, and then do that, and then go to the questions of the audience. Don't worry, I'll keep them here. I'll keep track on them, and I'll ask them at the end. Okay. So this is like Marta has gone the politically correct way, but I want hands-on on real initiatives, real examples that you are doing to make sure that everyone is included in the AI wave. Translators on your end are included in the AI wave. Give us some of those examples or initiatives you're working in at Creative Words.
For sure, gladly.
Talk about those, please.
Yes. The human approved certification, I think that encompasses all the things that you mentioned. As I was saying at the beginning, I am a super supporter of human in the loop. And human in the loop means that technology does not go forward without humans approving it, or without having humans at some point at stage to check on it. It's some sort of like a supervised AI usage. And what I do, like what we do, is putting humans at the very beginning, in the very middle, and at the very end of the process. So what does this mean? It means that when the way we integrate AI into language services means that we try to use AI to optimize and to optimize workflows that are already in place, and to create new workflows and to provide the services that we already provide in a faster, better, more efficient way, as well as providing new services. So we use AI as a generator. We use AI as an output giver. And our mission with a human approved certification is that of guaranteeing quality of AI outputs. But what like the main reason why we came up with this idea is that we have had for months now talks with and discussions with other companies, businesses. When we like AI is always in the air, like the idea of AI or what is AI tools, AI risks is always in the air. And more than often, we have encountered walls, you know? You mentioned AI, people step back and they're like, no, AI, no, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. You keep on doing your things, then I'll keep on doing mine the traditional way. It's not that the traditional way is not that AI is better, neither vice versa. It's just that, like, as we were saying, it's changed, like the framework is changing. So all these discussions, all these conversations where I kept on finding seriously like strict walls that we were not able to tear down, led us to think, okay, then what is the root reason? Like, why do businesses fear and find in AI such a threat? Maybe because, and all goes back to the things that we have been talking about since the very beginning, all goes back to an education of it and to the fact that I think that sometimes, and unfortunately, most times when we talk about AI, people think, okay, well, you're proposing to me something done with AI, and it's like a raw product. Like, how do I know? What are my guarantees? How can you guarantee that? How can you ensure the quality of the work you're doing if AI is doing it? You know, like none of us has power over AI, or like none of us can control it. So the quality approved certification is born in this scenario, trying to it's not calming down, but like trying to ensuring and guaranteeing people that the products and the outputs that come and that have the human approved seal are good quality and human-like quality, not because AI worked good, but because human was in the loop and ensured that the quality of those outputs is trustworthy, you know?
Could it be as well because they caught everybody off guard and people are worried about losing business as well? And they're trying to say, no, stay away from that.
Sorry?
Could it be as well because this new AI wave came too fast and some people are not ready to embrace it because they're afraid of losing business?
Well, you know, it's not about losing business. This is something I'm really, really, really confident about, and I always bring forward. It's not about losing business. It's not about replacing human beings doing things before, and it's not about anything bad. It's about being more efficient. Like when we think about doing some tasks with AI, it's not that those tasks were not done before, and it's not that people who were doing those tasks before are out of the game. People can just do things more efficiently. They need less time, so they can work on higher volumes, and so that brings more growth. You know, like everything is very. It's just about efficiency and quality of the job rather than yes or no. Like there's a big gray area between the white and black that are being considered nowadays towards AI, and I'm right in the middle of the gray area. Like I do not see anything black and I don't see anything white.
From the business perspective, it's more about quality.
Yeah.
And here we have the walls. And this is very correct, Marta. I've heard that before in an event. They told me, don't even talk to me about machine translation. Do whatever you want internally, but never mention it to anyone in my company. And this is funny on one hand. On the other hand, from the academia perspective, there is this matter of ethics. And talking about ethics, because it is a hot topic and it needs a separate discussion, I will take the discussion to the BWX interface and Gen AI in the after artificial intelligence CAT tool era, AAI. I separate them like AAI and BAI, before and after, and talk about how, and this is a question, actually, an open question, if ChatGPT and the open space of it is unethical, then taking it to BWX is ethical, because we filter the power of it, we control the power of it, the power of it is with translators, and then we can show how this works there, and how collaborative it is, and how much is the advance. So saying this, maybe we can go into the practical session of the practical part of our session, and see some examples before and after AI in the CAT tool interface. What do you think?
For sure. Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay. So let's share my screen.
Just for the friends who are following here, this should take us some 15 minutes, and then we expect to have another 10 for questions from the audience, right? So please, as I said, please go leave your questions here, because we have a few. And I read this very interesting comment from Elena before we get into the demo. Our problem is the opposite. Our customers use more and more AI and don't care about human approval. They don't see us a threat at all then.
I know. That opens up like another
another session for next week. So
we will have many sessions. This topic is, yeah. Okay, so here what we can see is an interface of a CAT tool, and this is the traditional one, we would say. So you don't see anything different. You have the source, you have the target, and you have the window with the results coming from the CAT. Now, I will not focus on the results window, and there is a reason for that, because this is what you have already seen. I'm going to hide this menu to make my screen big. And here we have a project from English into Spanish. And you can see how the empty output comes here. So from segment 1 to segment 3, you will see the results coming from the MT. Now, before I start showing you how AI is integrated within this interface, I would like to explain the theoretical part of it without having it boring. There is a reason. So in the translation theory, a language has various layers bottom up. And I will name them starting from the basic layer, which is formatting, then it is grammar, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, terminology, and style. These different layers interact in the micro and macro context, and this interaction defines the complexity of the text. Now, how is this related to AI? The more we solve punctuation, tags, spelling, grammar issues with the help of Gen AI, the more time we save to our translators to focus on the semantics, terminology, and style challenges of the text, where the translators' critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making are needed. So this is what we will see in practice today, and I will need the collaboration of Marta for this. Marta, you have a linguistic background and some experience with a CAT tool in a CAT tool interface, correct? Some.
Sort of. I'll do my best.
So, as I said, let's see how things were happening before AI and with AI. So we see, for example, we saw the 3 basic resources, recursos, and I confirm this segment. And then I go to segment 4. In segment 4, what would we say if we had a conversation, for example, with the system? For example, here, if I go and try to accept this segment, I see 2 warnings. One is that there is a tax mismatch, and for a junior translator, it is really important to see that there is a warning message for this translation. Are you sure you want to confirm the segment? Now, the important thing for me, at least, is that I don't need to check any additional window as a user. And this increases my focus on the quality of my translation because I only see the source and the target, and I focus on the messages that are in the target column. So this is one thing. Now, if I go to segment 5, here is where the conversational part starts. Now, Marta, so far, have you seen in a CAT tool, for example, to have an alternative suggestion for a machine translation?
For the tagging, you mean?
Not for the tagging, but let's say that here we have login, get started, and the output is iniciar sesión, comenzar. But I'm not sure about what I have here, and maybe I would like someone to tell me, how could I be able to translate it in a different way? Could we have an alternative suggestion in a traditional CAT tool?
Well, in the traditional, maybe the translation memory or something manual at least.
Okay, but if we could use, for example, a ChatGPT, and if someone goes out of this interface to a ChatGPT, then with a prompt, they would ask, can you give me an alternative suggestion for this translation? Now, what we do here is that we take this burden from the translator, and if they are not sure about the suggestion of the MT, here we go to the AI-powered actions, and we say, please give me an alternative suggestion. And then you see that within this interface, there is a suggestion. Get started can be translated as comenzar or empezar in Spanish. Both options are correct, but empezar is more commonly used in this context. The rest of the translation is accurate. Login is correctly translated as iniciar sesión. So you see what I mean by having an assistant and a conversation with someone within the interface without having to go out of this interface, which is really important because it saves time and it enhances our user experience while we have someone to ask if we're not sure about it. Of course, it's not going to be 100%, and of course, it hones our critical skills and decision-making skills, but it is there, and it is really important to have it. So, as you understand, I'm very excited about the conversational thing of the alternative suggestion, and now we can go with something else. Now, Marta, in the case of formatting and specifically tags, what would you have to do to fix tags in the empty output using a conventional CAT tool in the before AI TMSH?
I would have to do it manually.
And probably if there is an HTML file and there are many, many tags, this would be like a labyrinth, like a maze, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let me give you an example. So here it's very simple, but okay, this is for the demo bit. So here you see that in the output, we miss the tags. If I click here, we see a warning from the translation smells. We're going to have a better example for what translation smells is doing. Mismatched tags. So the translation contains a mismatched tag, and the opening tag is not closed properly. Now, we could have a ton of tags here that are not placed properly. What do we have as a feature? We have fixed tags. So when I click fixed tags, this runs within the interface and the tag is corrected. So it's not only corrected like placed, but it is placed in the correct position like it should be. So I think that this is really alleviating for a translator And it shows the power of Gen AI, while the human and the translator is at the center of this process. We're still controlling the process, but we don't have to go anywhere else. The power is by the engineers offered to us. So another thing, yeah.
One question: could you make could you zoom in a little bit what you've done, the commands list, because I think it could become a little bit bigger if you can.
You mean
like if
bigger?
You can zoom in your.
Yeah,
you can zoom. If
okay,
not,
let me
see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the friends can see it. Yeah.
Okay, is it better now, Javi?
Yes.
I can repeat this, and I can do it like a fake one. So here you may see fixed stats, and it is corrected. Better now?
Better now.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Now, let's say that we want to proofread something. And in this case, we should wait until the end of the translation, for example, to have a huge list of QA errors coming from the QA. I mean, we have seen that, where we have false positive and real errors. We need to filter them one by one or by categories, etc. So what can happen here for us to be helped? For example, if I go here, segment 8, you can see that I have translation smells running, which means that it tries to get what is wrong with this translation. So you see that translation smells, I will have a separate example about this because it is a highlight. It highlights inconsistent capitalization, missing punctuation, and word choice. Now, here in the AI-powered actions, I don't have to wait until the end of the translation of the day or whatever to go to my QA huge list and try to filter out the errors one by one. But if I click proofread here, it goes directly and proofreads the specific segment. So you will see that it will be now a little bit. Here it is. So now it is corrected. So this is an example of proofreading with the power of generative AI in BWX. And I think based on my experience that this is important. Now, let's talk about another challenge, which is semantics and accuracy of the translation. How can a junior translator be motivated to double check the translation in terms of accuracy? And could a collaborative learning with the engine help? In this case, then, we have the translation smells, and I can show you a good example, like segment 32. So here you see that directly for every segment that we have seen so far, translation smells is working, and it's like a warning, meaning if something smells fishy in the translation, as we say, it refers to any symptom within a translation that could potentially suggest the presence of an underlying problem. So here you see the value of it, and it can find out grammatical errors, word choices, etc. So because I know that maybe for some of you it's not really clear what it does, and translation smells is also here, so you can pick it from here, click check smells, and it starts working. I will stick to an example from this sentence. So it says, BeerWorks makes it incredibly easy for translators to have an overview of the land, etc. So this is in Spanish a literal translation where it says que sea increíblemente fácil para los traductores tener una visión general del terreno. So what does translation smells do here? The word land should be translated as trabajo instead of terreno to better convey the meaning of the sentence. And additionally, the phrase "have an overview of the land" should be translated as "tener una visión general" instead of "tener una visión general del terreno." So this is an additional thing that Marta could be able to have in the past.
No, after research, not directly like this.
Okay, so this is more or less what I would show today to the audience, because I would like to have some more time for the questions. To show you how Gen AI is integrated within the interface of BWX, how it saves time, and how it can help even junior translators to be more, aware of some errors that may occur from machine translation. Now, Marta, which feature did you find more innovative?
Well, easy question. No, I mean, that's a great tool. That's a great help for whoever works on cut tools. I think that helping translators to reduce the time they spend on repetitive tasks is the biggest gift you could give to a professional working in the field. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and it is very interesting interface because as you saw, okay, next time I'm going to show you something from the TM and the glossaries, and there is a very nice feature that is coming for next week that I will be able to show you about the terminology. But yes, the fact that you can even see this interface without any additional window and do your work easily, keeping your focus on the quality of the translation is really important. So here at BureauWorks, the message is that we care about translators, the challenges they face, the effort they put. And this is the message behind this and the human tech collaborative innovation. We don't want translators to become engineers. We are the engineers serving the translators and give them the room and comfort to focus on the quality of their work, pacing with the latest advances of technology. So what I have as a surprise for the next time is that I'm going to show you the dynamic learning concept and the power of BWX AI to add terms on the fly to the glossary. For a first taste of it, tomorrow I'm releasing the volume 3 of the AI Translation Lab newsletter, and there is, I think, interesting things about the terminology diseases, if I can give you a spoiler for this. And I think that this is how we go towards the future. And now, Javi, talking about the future. Do you have any questions?
Talking about the future, we have questions. We do have questions. I think we have 3-4 questions from the audience. Let's at least try to reply as many as we can. I like the first question that Kelsey is asking here. There are a couple of questions about the demo that you've shown, and a couple of questions about the conversation we had before, right? So let's start by this one now. How accurate do you generally find BureauWorks translation smell suggestions? Does it ever get wrong?
So this is a very good question because, for example, when translation smells does not bring anything, there is a warning in the interface saying that if you see that translation smells does not bring anything, it does not mean that the translation is accurate and does not have any issues. You still need to practice your critical thinking and find out if there is anything wrong. So it is just an indication, one thing. And second thing, yes, if it gets this wrong, it is still the responsibility with us. So what do we say by this? What are we saying by this? We're saying that the power is still with the human, that Gen AI can help us with some indications, with some warnings, but still we have to be critical and find out if what is suggesting is correct or not. It is our decision at the end. The quality is with us.
Yeah, I see. There is another question by Bill. Which are the most popular human-in-the-loop activities that we are seeing? And I think like anyone from you can reply. Or I think this question is a lot for Marta as well.
Yeah.
Well, the activities to keep the human in the loop within AI, I think they are not brought on an individual level, but they should be brought on a business level. So I think that when we talk about translation and linguistic services, the human in the loop should be kept in everything. Like, it's seriously a mania for me. It's like an obsession. I do not know how to answer this question, because I see what we do, and I see what I saw before. Also, another question that it's kind of like related to this, and that was mentioning the fact that many, like, there is also the opposite problem. So not problem, issue. Like, there is a part of businesses who are investing in a human in the loop approach, and a part of the businesses who is investing in not the human in the loop approach. The human in the loop activities evolved around everything that is, like, if you think about something generated by a human being, that can be generated by a machine. And the machine can generate even more than the human being. So if we have to go down to the strict activities, I would say that think about everything you do, or everything you think you can do, or you could do, the machine does it. And all those activities are activities that can have a human in the loop approach. And if they do not, there's another issue.
Okay. If anyone listening has an answer to this question, please post it there. We will read it, of course. We're going to ask one last question, which I saw before, and it was by Marlene Wolf. In your opinion, what is the main advantage of implementing AI in translation processes? Which might be very beginners, but we need to know this as well, right?
Yeah. No, well, it's also kind of easy to answer, like very like this, inverted brackets. Time reduction and efficiency. It's not about replacing and taking away tasks from human beings and giving them to the machine. Is more about making the life of professionals easier and making the work more efficient. It is not about, okay, machine does this, human does not do this any longer. It's just the human professional keeps on doing things, but faster and more efficiently. So repetitive tasks can now be done by a machine. How many times have you felt frustrated by doing and over and over and over and over again the same task, the same checks, the same double checks, and so on and so forth? And giving and cooperating with the machine allows to, on one side, making those tasks less heavy on an operative level, and makes also humans feel less frustrated. So it's like, I do see this as a win-win, but I mean, I'm a super optimist myself. Like, the glass always full in life. So I don't know if this maybe it's bias.
Yeah, no, it's fine. This should be a question that is easy after all, right? It should be an easy one to reply to, right?
I see that there is a question about the previous part of Kelsey about translation smells. So it says, if we cannot trust the suggestion made by the AI and have to stay critical, is it then not more distracting instead of helping? So what I meant is, of course, you can trust translation smells, because if it is there, it works with a semantic verifier and it will help you. But what I say is that still you have to use your human judgment, because as we say in this discussion, human is always in the loop. in this sense, not that you cannot trust it because it's going to be something wrong. The way it is integrated with semantic verifier, it brings an accurate result.
Mm-hmm. I see a comment here by Gergana. That's gonna hurt. She says that she notices similar thing in that as we were speaking, that the LSPs are slower in adopting any AI processes and incorporating workflows than the clients, right? So I guess the clients are faster than the LSPs.
Oh,
Wait.
I dropped it there.
That was not a question. It was just like a statement.
Yeah. It was a statement, not a question. Yeah. Well, I think that's it, right? We don't have any more questions, right, guys? Let's see. No. Well, so I guess we can say bye for today.
Okay, so we're up. Time is up almost.
And we're about.
So at this point, I would like to thank you very much, Marta. Thank you very much for being with us. And Javi, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you with me. And an announcement before we leave, talking about language technology. If you have the possibility to be in Greece for a good dose of language technology, don't miss on November 17th to 19th to watch a live demo of BWX and meet me in person at the Language Tech Patras by Rima and Ryman Region Language Services. And I will soon announce this on LinkedIn. For sure, we will make it worth it. And now our next Translators on Air will be with you this Wednesday at 5 CET. And our special guest comes from an LSP dealing with gaming. It is Luis Acevedo, Vendor and Language Resource Manager at Olin Global, AI aficionado. Thank you very much, all of you, for attending. And
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
See
you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.